The struggle between the Academic Personnel Union of Universities (ASU) and the federal government to pay lecturer salaries with the Integrated Payment and Personal Information System (IPPIS) has continued to generate intense heat as lecturers' revenues have decreased significantly. Background: in an interview with The Punch, ASU President Biodun Ogunyemi accused the federal government of amputating the salaries of lecturers at IPPIS and added that the federal government paid lecturers who were not registered at IPPIS without their biometric data and capture other information. In March, the federal government ordered the termination of salaries for lecturers and all university employees who are not enrolled in IPPIS. Some lecturers who did not take part in IPPIS threatened to go on strike if they did not receive the salaries but were paid later. They also rejected the federal government's directive that workers should be included in the centralized payroll system, as this would affect the autonomy of the universities. In April, President Muhammadu Buhari approved the immediate payment of the retained salaries in February and March for lecturers at federal universities who were not registered with the IPPIS. However, the ASU president said the payment process was not easy. The first comment is that we wondered how they could have used the IPPIS platform if our members had not submitted a BVN or had not signed up to IPPIS. The impression we had before is that people are for data collection, biometric collection, and so on, before the government can use IPPIS, but that did not happen in this case, said Ogunyemi. So if the government could use IPPIS to pay salaries, it means our suspicions are confirmed, which means they can manipulate this platform at will. This is because people who have not registered with IPPIS are paid through IPPIS. This means that anyone can be imported into the system, and that has always been our suspicion. We said that the IPPIS is not waterproof as claimed. Secondly, by using IPPIS to pay our members, because the warning clearly stated there, the IPPIS was mentioned in the warning. We also identified the shortcomings of this platform. When the government called us for a meeting in July 2019, it was said that all fears had been resolved. How is it that this time you use the IPPIS to distort people's salaries? Our members say the government amputated their salaries. You cut some people's salaries. Pay slips are nowhere to be found, and the cooperative deductions, union contributions, and all third-party deductions are nowhere to be found. Now you are wondering if this is the system we need. As we said earlier, the alternative we've been working on is underway, and we will be introducing it to the Nigerians soon. New salary. The new salary for lecturers has enormous deductions that significantly reduce the total monthly package. One professor, 342,000 naira a month versus about 422,000 naira, which used to be the whole package. The new package shows that a total of approximately 80,000 naira has been deducted from a professor's monthly income. The following table shows the deduction of lecturers' salaries at other levels. Government declares deductions. The federal government has explained the reason for the deduction. Federation General Accounts Ahmed Idris said the federal government had decided to correct the records because ASU had put them in a bad light. It is important, yeah, that the Federation General Accountant Office clarifies the records in the public interest and for the majority of university staff who have had unprecedented understanding to date and have worked with IPPIS. We hereby declare the following. He said, The pay-as-you-earn tax is a statutory tax deduction that is paid by all wage earners. IPPIS apply the correct tax rate in accordance with Section 34 of the 6th 2011 Income Tax Plan Amendments. Before the switch to IPPIS, the tax rate applied by tertiary institutions was incorrect, which led to an underpayment of the payee tax. It is important to note that all federal state governments have made claims against the federal government to pay the difference that results from the underpayment of taxes by these institutions. The federal government paid several billions on behalf of these institutions for not the payee tax. The university unions demand to formalize tax evasion through IPPIS is not only unsustainable but also an unpatriotic demand to violate existing tax laws. Idris also stated that part of the deductions from the lecturers' salaries would give them access to loans to own their personal homes after retirement. NHF deductions, the National Housing Fund, is 2.5% of basic salary. This is another legal institution contribution that is supported by the law of the National Assembly, the statement said. This is a savings contribution from all federal employees, so they have access to short-term loans to own their personal homes. The savings contribution will be reimbursed with interest either upon retirement or upon termination of the federal government's employment. He also claims that these laws should not be applied to them and should therefore be exempted or made optional for them. The request for violation of Parliament laws does not fall within the scope of the IPPIS or the OAGF. You were advised to contact the National Assembly to amend the law. Another problem raised by the union is that the deduction of employee pension contribution 7.5%, ASU claims that the contributory pension for employees should be based on the basic salary rather than the consolidated salary, and has increased its employee deductions, reducing their take-away. This is penny-wise argument that the ivory tower is not expected to do. The consolidated salary applies to the determination of the employee contribution of all federal employees. Since the Wages and Salaries Commission has consolidated the salary without composition, the employee's actual contribution also determines the government's contribution. The deduction is based on the Pension Contribution Act. All other salaries and allowances that have been approved by another agency in Nigeria and they have not been formalized by these two agencies are illegal payments. ASU and other unions are therefore expected to understand this. The fact that they have armed their institutions to pay them these allowances is not legal. It's okay because they have allowed the institution to do that. That does not make it legal. ASU and federal government, they've been back and forth right from time immemorial. They have been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. With all of this, I don't even know who is right or who is not right. It's unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. But when it comes to all these lawmakers, all these governments, all these politicians, you don't hear all these kind of stories. They will tell you this is what we want to buy. We want to buy the modern this, we want to buy the latest this, and they will get it no matter what anybody says. But the issue of ASU and the federal government is not, it didn't just start now. I don't even know why. You know, somebody, is it not Doche was saying that, does it mean these people, they are in court that they said there should be no development in this country because there's this pattern and they will follow it. There's this pattern of neglecting other people, but once it concerns politicians, forget it. They get it done as soon as possible. They get it so right. Someone says signs of a country that will never develop. The politicians are feeding fat for doing nothing. They want solution to Nigeria's problems with this remuneration. An amount a meat seller, dangerous drivers, can comfortably work out a month. They have killed our primary and secondary school, about to add universities. Backward thinking leaders. Someone says no professor should earn less than ₦1 million. ASUU should bury their heads in shame, as they are always the returning officers in all elections in Nigeria, where they are bribed to return a bad government. Someone says the salary. Okay. Exactly, my brother. Very true. Let the federal government deal with them. They participate in rigging and manipulating in 2019 general elections. So you are made to believe. Sorry for your ignorant position. Okay. True talk. What are you? Okay, they are beginning to insult themselves. That is not even where we are going. Someone says the salary of a professor should be increased to at least 750,000 naira monthly. Someone say good. Someone is supporting that. Now they do themselves. The last time I checked, now they return all these politicians. You can imagine. Professors are being paid for nothing. How many of them have have professed anything here in Nigeria? Absolute waste of resources. This is ridiculous. How can a professor earn less than 1 million naira while your politicians are packing millions? We like encouraging mediocrity in this country. So guys, let us hear your opinion. I don't even know when this fracas, when this misunderstanding between the federal government and these lecturers, these ASUU people, I don't even know when they are going to come to an equilibrium. They will come to a place where they will say, oh yes, we are okay with what has been happening. It's been like that. It's always been like that. And from one government to another, from one government to another, it's the same pattern. So guys, let's hear your opinion concerning this. Leave your comments and let's really learn from you.